Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special review because I did not expect to have this thing be in stock, shipped to me so quickly in order for me to be able to do a review of this. Amazon kind of blew us away over the weekend by putting up for sale the Star Wars Celebration Tokyo exclusive Black Series version of the Ronin with R5-D56. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. All right, you know what? I literally, this is kind of funny. I literally built an entire new display area, review space, just because of this. Honestly, this was one of the biggest packages that I've gotten recently to review. And I realized the limitations of my space that I had before, and I needed to fix it. But you know what? My review space really needed an update a long time ago. So, this was just the catalyst, and hopefully I can block out more light, and I can, control the light in this environment a little bit better. And I have a little more verticality to go up, because before my space only ended just above this box, at the height just above this box. And if I tilted it up anymore, you would see my curtain and, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm really happy that I was able to get in here and update this as I'm trying to turn my lights off. So let's take a closer look at this box and see how much of this we're actually going to be able to review. This beautiful watercolor ink painting on the front of the box of the Ronin with his red lightsaber, splash of red, accent color of red, and this nice little kind of like paper tie. It says the Ronin R5-D56 right there, and all of your legalese. Just turning around here on the back, you've got more of your warnings here in different languages. Star Wars, the Black Series logo right there. Some more of that painting right there. And here we have some writing in Arabic. I'm gonna assume that this spells Ronin, because that looks like an O and that looks like an N, and that's a double letter, so I'm sure this says the Ronin. That would make a lot of sense. But this had some stickers on it to keep it in place. We're gonna go ahead and slide this off, and then we're going to open this up here, and you can see how it unfolds. It's really, really nice. Now, this does not come off the back of the package. It is not magnetized or anything all the way around. It's actually not magnetized at all. There's no magnets in here. It just kind of folds. Well, I say there's no magnets. Yeah, I think there are. There's got to be, because there's something it just feels like it's connecting in there. So we have some more artwork over here. It just says the Ronin. Again, I'm assuming so. And then over here, we've got some artwork. And I'll zoom in right here so you can read this little write-up right here. But basically, it just says, accompanied by his droid R5-D56, the Ronin becomes an unlikely hero to a small forest village when he defends them from a Sith bandit and her crew. And then we just have that in extra... we have that in extra languages as there as well. Let me go ahead and tilt this up a little bit so that you guys can see the top of this. Again, this would not have been possible even yesterday with my current review space. Back here, basically this just opens up right here, and you can see that right here we have a little box. It's kind of like folded together with these little paper tabs. And basically, if you were to unfold that, you will get this little plastic tray right here that has the extra arm jets and the jet effects, and then all the little parts and pieces for R5-D56. It comes in this nice little plastic box, I mean cardboard box, and then of course we get the instruction booklet, not instruction booklet, but you know, like extra legalese, you know, probably says something like, you know, don't suck on them or something like that. I don't know. What does Robo always say? He says, don't put them in your mouth. So we're going to leave that right there. And then the way you want to take this whole package out is they just slide out of the top like this. And then I have seen people say that, you know, you can throw away the plastic here and just put the figures back into this box that's left, and it makes a really cool display. And we will definitely check that out later in the review. But I know what you guys are here for. You want to check out the figures, and that's what I'm here for too. So let's get this guy opened up, both of these parts and pieces out, and let's take a closer look. All right, here is the Ronin and R5-D56, and I got to tell you, man, this is a nice set. First and foremost, you are going to notice that they are all in shades of gray, because if you guys remember correctly, in the first season of Star Wars Visions, this was a mostly black and white cartoon. There is the bright pop of blue right there for R5's eye, which looks really nice, and of course the red on the Ronin's lightsaber. But we do get this really cool gray bamboo shaft. It's got a nice little slant to it where it's been chopped right there. So this nice little stick of bamboo looks really cool for him. We do have this little arm attachment that does plug in. You have three little attachments here. Anybody who has a the newer R2D2 or the newer R5D4, then you will know exactly what you're getting, because this is exactly that, just with the hat put on. The hat is not removable, but it does spin all the way around. You know which way is the front by the little vents, the little eye slits right here in the front. The figure does pop up like that. The head does pop up like that, and of course you can fit all of the accessories right inside in these little ports in here. There's little slits all the way down there just for those. You can put them all in, and you can close that thing down. Of course, just opening this up a little bit to where we can have some extra room, you can man, I did just happen to cut my nails last night. Of course, you can open up the sides. Oh man, come on. You can open up the sides here. Both sides open up. It's not the easiest. I didn't say it was user-friendly. And then, of course, these little arms. Okay, I can't get this little piece right here to come out, but it comes out just like this little arm does here. And then, of course, you can take these little attachments, and you can sort of port them in as you want. We have some sort of like a little grabber. We have like a little, maybe like a blowtorch of sorts. Let's see, we have a little blaster. I'm probably getting all of these wrong, so you guys can just correct me in the comments, you know, what these little things are. We have the little key he uses to connect. We have what looks to be like maybe like another little grabber, maybe a grapple gun, and then some sort of like you know, is this like a fusion cutter or something like that? You can put all 6 in there at once if you'd like. So that's really cool. You do have the plates on the side that are removable. Again, like if you guys have R2 or R5, you know what to expect here, because he does use these. Let's see, am I putting them in correctly? Yeah, I believe so. He does use these. Oh, see the little ropes that go around his feet. They're sort of like loose extra pieces. They're just there to make him look, you know, kind of like cobbled together, and you know, give him a little more of that Japanese look and feel. I wish, you know, these parts were a little more user friendly, but you can plug in the jets on the side, and then if you'd like, you can put the little blast effects can plug in on the little nozzles. And if you want to have him like flying through the air, you certainly can. You'd have to put him on like a base or something to do that. But you could certainly do that. And of course, the last little thing we're going to talk about with R5 here is how his leg does go up in the middle. Now, to get it to go up in there fully, you would probably have to remove this piece completely, and then the other one just fell off, and then you can put that up in there, and then you would have to like grab this with your nails. Of course, why did I have to cut my nails the night before this review? So there you have R5 and all of his little robot glory. Next up, we do have the Ronin here, and boy, is this guy impressive. This is just so nice. There's so much going on here. We're going to take it apart so we can, get a closer look at all of it. But just right off the bat, we're going to take a look at his hair. And this is a separate piece, but it is not movable. Like, you can't rotate it. It stays in that position. The head is on a double ball peg, so you can do a little bit of shunting forward and back, not a lot. He can look up that far, and he can look down that far. He has a lot of tilt. The hand over here is very nicely sculpted to where he can hold his scabbard for the lightsaber to go in, which I don't think it's actually going in. I think he's, not... I think he's like disengaging the blade and then reigniting it whenever he comes out. But that being said, the lightsaber and the blade actually does fit down inside that shaft, and you can rotate it, and you can see it locks into place. It fits in very nicely in the scabbard, and this whole thing is removable. You can take this out, and his other little sword just came off. You can see there's two little ports right there. One plugs in right there, and you can see where the other one plugs in right there. I like that the belt is wide enough to accommodate that. And this is just a piece of plastic. It's soft plastic. It moves. It gets out of the way, but it is not like, it's not a bendy wire or anything. You do have this little plastic clasp here that keeps the cloak together, so you can actually remove that little thing completely. Let's get that out of the way. And then you do have his robe. Now, I don't think you could actually put this up on his head, especially with the hair the way it is, and it is sort of folded down. I don't even know how this would work. Yeah, it's sort of folded and it's stitched right there, so it's not really designed to go up on his head. But let's straighten the arms out here, and then let's take this cloak off. The cloak is wired, which is really nice, and you can get it into some really cool positions, and we're going to take a look at that here in just a minute. But we are just going to take it off so we can look at this figure all together and see what we're working with here, because boy, look at that. Look at that enormous machine, made in China, machine, like, do not machine wash. You can hand wash, surface clean only. Boy, all the legalese. I don't even need this. We're going to have to cut that off because that's just way too big. So where you see the stitched lines, you can actually see the wire. So you have a wire running right here, one continuous loop down here, of course, all the way across the bottom, then back up. So this is all one continuous piece, and you can see how it's frayed and sort of damaged at the end. It looks really nice. There's no weathering on this, which is fine. Like, I think it looks cool the way it is. We'll set that aside. And then here we have the figure all together. And, we're going to talk about price later, and we're going to talk about, is this set worth, $70? Because that is the price tag for it. And we're going to talk all about that. Is this separate? This is a separate piece, but it is glued from the front to right here, so it's loose on this side. So you can't take it apart without cutting it with a knife or whatever away from the body. But here is the full figure, and I don't believe any of this is reused. This is all brand new parts. So we've got this dark gray cloak at the top, his Jedi robes. You've got a white robe underneath, dark. You have a nice wash all over it. You do have the frayed sleeves, which is really nice. Let's see here. The arm is on a ball joint right there. So that's on a ball joint, and the wrist is on a hinge and peg. So you get nice range of motion there. You do have a swivel and a hinge that goes well past 90. That's crazy. You have some nice like silver metal work right here on this shoulder, not on this shoulder. The arms can go out and you can hit that T-pose, no problem. The arms can go all the way around. They don't go straight up, as you can see, it kind of goes out to the side a little bit. Look at this butterfly joint. So there's a built-in butterfly joint. It's not like part of the outer like chest sculpt. It's like built into like right there. So you get some movement right there, which is really nice. Let's see. We're on a nice ball peg for the torso, so you can get, you know, bend forward that far, bend back that far. Not the greatest range of motion, but hey, it's doable. It works. Let's get this out of the way. The legs are not on a drop down. They can go forward all the way. They can go out to the side about that far, and then they can go back pretty far as well. You don't have a thigh swivel, but you do have that swivel on the ball peg. So there's a nice range of motion there. So you can tilt the leg all the way out if you want to rotate it out. So you do have a knee swivel, and it is going to be a single joint. And as expected with the baggy pants, you're not going to get a big range of motion there. But I do like that the peg or the joint is kind of like built in seamlessly with the knee, so it doesn't look awkward when you bend it back. So you can get like a walking pose, you can get like a, you know, a running pose. I mean, for a figure with baggy pants, that's pretty nice articulation right there. You do have a you know, what we call a boot cut, but right here it's nicely hidden inside of the pants leg, and then we have a hinge and rocker down at the ankle. So this guy is very nicely articulated. I do want to get the cloak back on him so we can mess around with that, play around with it, and see what this does. There we go. And it gave me the opportunity, since I had to take it back off, to go ahead and cut that big tag out of there. So that's gone. I do kind of wish the hood would go up on his head, even though we didn't see him like that in the cartoon. From what I remember, I just watched it the other night just to get a refresher on this little short film before this arrived. But see, you can get the front pieces to sort of bend and stay. You can wrap them, you know, over the arm. You know, you can have them blowing across his body, and they're going to stay. Come on. They're going to stay in whatever position you put them in. That's a very thick wire in there. Might be too thick, but I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have it be too thick than too thin. You can get the cape blowing out behind him and a nice pose, and that looks really cool as well. I did want to look at this scabbard because there's a lot of like sculpted detail on it. It looks really nice, and then also because we don't get a clear view of it in the show, but I just wanted to show off his lightsaber hilt. It's really nice. It does have sort of that woven look, katana style on the handle, which looks really cool. And I don't feel like this blade, I mean, it does kind of feel like it wants to come out, but yeah, we're not going to try to remove it. And then, like I said, the hilt is integrated into the scabbard, and it does fit together very nicely. So let's see here. I think he has it like this. Yeah, because that's the side. And then let's get the other blade in here and plugged in as well. And there you have it, man. He just looks so cool. I love, you know, the hand being able to hold the scabbard. And then, of course, we have the lightsaber holding hand over there. Because, you know, anytime we have a figure that doesn't have two trigger finger hands, I'm excited because Hasbro seems to think that every character dual wields blasters in Star Wars. So there you have it. Yeah, that looks really, really nice. So let's get this guy up on a rotating base and into a really cool pose and see how he poses up. And before we get this guy up on a rotating base and give our final thoughts, I did want to show off what like a lot of people I have seen online are doing, and that is taking out the inner package and tossing that or setting it aside and then just putting it back in this case because it makes a very beautiful display piece. I wish I could back my camera up. Maybe I can. back my camera up just enough to where you guys can see that this makes a very, very nice display piece on your shelf. You could absolutely set this up just like this. And boy, would I love it if they give us some more Visions characters all around so we could fill in the ranks and not have these be the only two that we're going to be getting from the Visions series. So let's get both of these guys up on a rotating base and let's talk about it. All right, here we have the two up on the rotating base. So we got them in a really cool pose. And that way, that gives us some time to talk really quickly about the price. So I know a lot of people are saying this set's not worth $70, and I think, when you start breaking it down, let's say that the Ronin figure is $25, and let's say, because we know that they do it, let's say that the droid is $25. So you're at $50. So people are saying, well, is that packaging, the special packaging that it comes with, is that worth, the extra $20? And I'm going to say that packaging is probably worth $10. But I think where the extra money is going into this is the extra money is going into the all brand new sculpt for this guy. And the fact that they will probably never reuse any of his pieces. I can't imagine that they would reuse much of anything. Maybe the hands. I just don't see where else they would, be able to reuse these pieces in the Star Wars world. Unless they started breaking off and making a series of samurai-inspired Star Wars characters, the way that the overseas company, I can't think of who is doing it, but the company that is making that has been making the Star Wars samurai figures for a while now. So I think that's where the extra price is coming from. It's the fact that, all of these pieces, he's a full brand new sculpt, head to toe. But I know the pushback on that is going to be, well, if he was a full brand new sculpt head to toe, would he have still been $25 if he was released in the main line in retail stores? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I do think that, with the price that this set is already demanding online, on eBay and Mercari, I think it'd be kind of silly for, clearly the demand is there. I think it'd be kind of silly for, Hasbro not to re-release this figure. Maybe just the Ronin himself in the main line and get some more use out of those parts. I think that would go a long way. I think that would work out. And we also have to take into the fact that he's, comes with wired soft goods. Again, this is not something that Hasbro typically does. This is clearly a very special release. And so I was watching the review from, I think it was MCU Collector, who did a review on this over the weekend. And he said something that I wholeheartedly agree with. He was like, he said, is the price too expensive? Yes. Am I sad that I paid $70 for this set? Absolutely not. I think, in my opinion, for me, being a huge Star Wars fan, and the fact that I did not have to go all the way to Tokyo, Japan, to get my hands on this set, and I got it, faster than, people who flew from America to, go to Tokyo to go to the celebration, and then had to ship their stuff home, I just, I am just blown away. Man, I'm really blown away by this set. I think it's great. So me personally, I'm okay with the price point. It doesn't bother me one bit because I know this is a special release and that packaging does look amazing. But you guys sound off in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the price point of this and if you picked one up or if you're just gonna, skip this release. Just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I know this was a really long one, but hey, I kind of felt like it deserves it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.